G'day everybody, Big V Podcast here, Division 1 Women. We are discussing offensive and defensive averages per game. Now, we're going to go down the list and we're going to target a few of these teams because there are some interesting anomalies here and a few little fun things that we picked up along the way. Now, Western Port are pretty clear-cut, this number one team at the moment, with an interesting offensive rating, sitting fourth with 68.5 points per game.
Yeah, very interesting, Ted. Usually you see the leader on the ladder is the team that scores more points than the other team more regularly.
Yeah.
But Western Port are clearly getting it done on the defensive end instead. Their offense is sort of a share the load with Winters, Warnsborough, Mastalone, and then they get a couple of other contributors pop in there. But I don't think they'll be too worried with having the fourth best offense as long as they're sitting pretty on top.
No, absolutely. We've got Bellarine, who are sitting second place with the number one offensive rating of 72.7 points per game. They are doing quite well, looking like that finals team that they should be at the moment. Georgia Varley, Olivia Vert, and Griffin sort of be that main three offensively driving this team.
Yeah, they've had contributors pop up here, left, right, and centre. They're a team which will be incredibly hard for a scout because, yes, Varley's going to be pretty dynamic on the offensive end. Olivia Vert, our player of the month from April.
Congratulations.
Also will do her thing. And then all of a sudden you've got like a Lucy Howard joined the starting five the other week. Carly Bruce just had a pretty good game herself. They've got these other players who can just bob up and get it done on the offensive end, which makes them a really difficult scout.
Absolutely. Now, you work your way down this ladder, and it's, pretty standard as, Warrnambool sitting second offensively and fourth defensively. So there's reasons as to why these teams are sitting at the top end. Mildura, interestingly, sitting fourth, but they are eighth offensively rated, averaging only 63 points per game.
Yeah, that's a really... I'd say that one is a little concerning for Mildura moving forward.
Yeah.
If they want to be a top four and a finals contention team, they can't be... they need to up their offensive output. I mean, Tyra Johnson's been huge for them in almost 22 points a game in her 7 games. And Vanessa Powers sort of doing her thing. She's averaging close to 16 points in her 10 games for the team. But the next contributors, and in terms of people playing and getting on the court, we've got Stephanie O'Loughlin, who's been great for them, and 12 points a game, but it's only played 5 games. And Michaela Hermans is averaging 7.5 points a game, but has only played 4 games and only played the 27 minutes. So I just wonder if they can get some consistency with the girls on the court, playing each week. I think that number will be very different.
Absolutely. And jumping over to the other side of that, they are sitting third defensively. So they are holding these teams to pretty comfortable records for themselves to give them those wins. So, consistently doing well defensively, but definite room for improvement on the offensive end. Now, we'll work our way down because Craigieburn and Melbourne Uni are 5th and 6th here. Now, they're both got some interesting numbers next to their names right now. Craigieburn sitting 5th, and they are 5th and 5th offensively, defensively rated. Mind blown right there.
Yeah, they're sitting exactly where they should be. And same with Melbourne University, who are sitting 6th offensively and 6th defensively and sitting exactly where they should be. So I wonder if they can put a focus. I look at some of these other teams up here. Can they focus all their energy in one area, improve that side of the game to see if they can turn their season around? Or are they just... I just worry that if they sit there being pretty good at offense and pretty good at defense, they're just going to sort of go through the season being pretty good. They're not going to make the jump.
What would you choose, offense or defense?
In this league, I would target the defensive end, Ted.
Yeah.
I'd focus on how you can limit the impact of some of these opposition players, key players, and make the other players step up and beat us.
Well, a lot of people do say that, defense converts offense. Defense generate offense. If you can get stops, you can play in transition more. You're more playing full court, harder to guard, as opposed to getting scored on and having to play in a half court all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a lot of substance to that.
Absolutely. Now, Chelsea, who are sitting just behind those two, are 3rd offensively, but sitting 8th defensively. Very interesting to see them scoring so highly, but sitting towards the bottom of that ladder.
Yeah, they've got a lot of firepower, but wowee, they just if they could tidy up the defensive end just a few points a game, some of those close losses they've had will turn into wins, and they'll find themselves starting to jump the Craigie Burns and the Melbourne Unis and sort of being in the finals race. So they've got there several players who can average double figure scoring. It's just who's going to step up defensively to shut down some of these star players.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we'll get nice and close to the end of this. Warrandyte, who are obviously struggling on both ends of the floor, sitting at the bottom of the ladder, averaging just 47 points per game and giving up 72. So there's a massive turnaround there, something that they need to work on here. This season is probably a big development year for them at the moment, by the looks of it, as we've gotten to sort of the thick of the season.
Yeah, they've got a really young squad, and they are battling. I had the luxury of going and watching them play down in Warrnambool, and they battled really hard for the first half. They just didn't have the legs to go in the second half. So there's a bit of talent there. They've added an import in now. I think trying to find her name just here. We got Asia Strong, who got 19 points in her first outing for Warrandyte, and they had Emmy O'Neill back on the floor, which is going to help them in terms of pulling in some rebounds. Hopefully that'll convert that into being some more competitive and guide some of these younger girls as the season goes on.
Absolutely. Look, that'll be all for us, guys. Keep it locked. We'll speak to you soon.